All right, so it looks like someone's got their sights set on becoming a machine operator supervisor. Pretty ambitious. And wouldn't you know it, this RoleCatcher platform keeps popping up. Let's dive into this and figure out if it's the real deal or just another one of those flashy apps.
Yeah, for sure. And we've actually got a good bit to work with here. Career guides, info on their AI, even their whole take on the job search process.
Hmm.
I'm kind of curious to see what we find, to be honest.
Me too. They're doing a lot, it seems. Job boards, interview practice, even career pathing. It's almost like they want to be the only thing you need for your whole career.
You're not wrong about that. It's pretty normal to see platforms try to do it all these days, but
Yeah.
the real question is, can they back it up? What really stands out to me here is how much they're pushing this AI angle.
Absolutely. So let's start with this Machine Operator Supervisor guide you dug up. It's not like those generic job descriptions, is it? It breaks things down by your actual career level, almost like they've got a different game plan depending on if you're fresh out of school or going for a management role. You know what I mean?
I think that level of detail is actually really smart. Think about being able to see where you want to be career-wise, like 5 years down the line, all laid out with the skills and everything. That's got to be way more useful than some vague description, right?
Oh, absolutely. But get this, there's this functions and core ability section. It doesn't just list skills, it puts percentages next to them. Like, attention to detail, 52% of the job. Have you ever seen anything like that?
It's like they're handing you the cheat code.
Hmm.
And it makes you think, is this how they're using their AI? Crunching data from a ton of job postings to get these skill percentages.
Hmm.
Because if that's what they're doing, that could be seriously powerful.
I know, right? Like a cheat code for your resume.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder if this could be overwhelming for some people. Instead of focusing on your strengths, now you're trying to fit yourself into these specific boxes. What do you think? Is all that detail helpful or just a bit much?
That's a good question. I think if you're someone who loves data and wants to be really strategic, it could be great. But for someone who's more go with the flow with their career, maybe it's a little too, I don't know, robotic. It's all about finding what works for you, really.
For sure. And speaking of AI doing the work, let's talk about some of the other features RoleCatcher is always talking up. AI-powered resumes, AI-powered interview practice. They even say their AI can help employers discover you. Is this the future of job hunting, do you think?
Well, there's definitely a lot of hype around AI right now, and it's easy to get caught up in it all. But we can't forget to ask the hard questions, like how are they making sure their algorithms are fair? We've seen how AI can accidentally, keep biases going, and that's not good. What are they doing to make sure their technology is actually inclusive?
That's a really good point. So how's all that play out in their actual features? Let's break it down a little.
Well, from what I see, RoleCatcher says their AI can look at your resume, look at job descriptions, and figure out where the gaps are, then suggest how to fix them, like having a personal career coach, but digital, right? They'll even tailor your cover letter and help you answer those application questions. The big question is, how good is this AI actually? Is it just moving your words around, or is it really giving you some next-level advice?
And then there's the whole interview prep side of things, right? They've got that section with a ton of practice questions, but they're really pushing the AI analysis there.
Yeah, they say their AI can watch your video practice sessions, give you feedback on everything, your body language, how your voice sounds, even what you're saying in your answers. I mean, that could be super helpful, especially for anyone who clams up in interviews.
I can see that. Getting that outside feedback could be a game changer. But then again, could it make people rely on the AI too much? Like instead of just being themselves, they're trying to please an algorithm.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The more we depend on AI, the more we risk losing that human touch. And honestly, when you're job searching, sometimes it's those little things that make all the difference. It's a tough balance, for sure.
No doubt about it. And speaking of walking that line, RoleCatcher seems to be doing that with their pricing too. They've got the free version, but if you want to unlock the really good stuff, you have to go for their Copilot AI subscription. What are your thoughts on that?
Ah, the classic freemium model. You see it everywhere now. It's like, yeah, let me think of a good example. You imagine walking into a bakery. They let you smell the fresh bread for free.
Mhm.
But if you want to taste, you got to buy a loaf.
Tempting.
Exactly.
So with RoleCatcher, it seems like the free version gives you the basics. Searching for jobs, maybe some basic resume building, a bit of career guidance. But to really get the benefit of their AI, you got to shell out for that Copilot subscription. Have you seen this before with these platforms?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's become the norm, but it's definitely something to be aware of. It's like you sign up for a streaming service for one show, right? Then suddenly you're hooked and you've got 3 different subscriptions.
I've totally been there. But with something as important as your job search, Figuring out if it's worth the money is even more important.
You're right. And this is where it gets interesting. It's great they have a free version so you can try it out, see if you like it. But are they holding back on the free stuff to make you want the paid version?
Yeah.
And is that paid version really worth it? These are the things you got to be asking yourself when you check out RoleCatcher.
Like anything else, you got to be a smart consumer. Don't just jump in because it sounds fancy. Do your research. Make sure it fits what you need and what you can afford.
Absolutely. And don't forget, there's no shame in using other resources too. This doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all.
Exactly. Okay, so we talked about RoleCatcher's take on that machine operator supervisor role and started looking into their AI features. This whole thing makes you wonder about AI's place in job searching as a whole, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. And that conversation is only going to get bigger as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
You got that right.
So picking up where we left off, AI, everyone's talking about it, right?
Right.
And the job search world is no different. But is it all it's cracked up to be?
That's the million-dollar question these days, right? Will AI be our new best friend for our career, or is it just a bunch of hype?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like with any new tool, you got to be a little skeptical, right? We need to really figure out what it's good at and what it's not so good at.
Totally. So let's talk about the good stuff first. I've heard people say that AI could make job searching fairer for everyone, which would be amazing. But honestly, I'm not even sure what that really means. Can you explain it a bit?
Sure. Think about it like this. Who usually has it easier when they're job searching? Usually it's the people with connections, the inside scoop, or those who can afford those fancy career coaches. AI could change that by giving everyone access to that same info and help.
Ah, I see. So instead of it being all about who you know or how much money you have, everyone has a fair shot no matter what.
Exactly. Imagine, doesn't matter where you come from or how much money you've got, you can get personalized career advice, make your resume better, practice interviews all with AI. It could really change things, especially for folks who haven't had those advantages before.
That's a really powerful idea. It's like having a whole team of career experts in your pocket, right? Anytime, anywhere.
That's it. But, and it's a big but, we can't forget about the downsides. There's always that risk that AI could actually make things less fair, make those existing biases even worse.
Oh, that's right. AI is only as good as the information it learns from, right? And a lot of times, that info already has the same biases we see in the real world. How do we stop AI from making things worse and actually use it to make things more equal?
That's the big question. It's something the people creating AI really need to be careful about.
Hmm.
It's not enough to build a fancy algorithm. They need to be working hard to find and fix those biases in their data, in how they build the AI, and in what the AI actually does.
So it's not just about making AI smart, it's about making sure it's ethical and fair.
Exactly. And that means really understanding what could go wrong with AI and being committed to using it the right way. It's not just about doing things faster or with less work. It's about making things more equal and fair for everyone.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like AI could be incredible for job searching, but it's not some perfect solution. We need to really think about how we make it, how we use it, and how we keep it in check so it actually helps everyone.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, using the good parts of AI, but also watching out for the bad. And never forget, AI is a tool at the end of the day, just like any tool. It can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure it's doing good.
I love that. So while we're talking about this AI revolution in job searching, how does this all connect back to RoleCatcher? It seems like they're betting big on AI being a big selling point, but how do we, as people using their platform, make sure we're using their tools the right way?
Be informed, be skeptical. It's like anything else. Don't just take their word for it. Don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. How are you using AI? What data are you using to train it? What are you doing to make sure it's fair and accurate?
So don't assume that just because it's AI, it's automatically better or unbiased, right?
And remember, AI can be great at finding things you might have missed, those hidden opportunities,
Hmm.
but it shouldn't replace your own gut feeling. You know what I mean?
It's about using AI to help you, not to do everything for you.
Now you're talking. Find that sweet spot where AI boosts your own skills and helps you shine.
I like it. So with RoleCatcher specifically, their AI features could be really helpful for some things, like fine-tuning your resume or getting feedback on interview skills. But we got to remember it's not perfect, and we can't be afraid to ask those hard questions about fairness.
That's right. It all boils down to what you prefer and what works best for you as an individual.
Absolutely. Now, something else you mentioned earlier really got my attention. This idea that AI can not only help you find a job, but help you figure out your whole career path. Now that's exciting.
Oh, for sure. That's where things get really interesting. Imagine instead of just looking at what jobs are out there now, you use AI to figure out what you're truly passionate about, and then it helps you get there.
Okay, hold on. That's something we need to dig into a bit more. This idea of AI charting your ideal career trajectory is fascinating. Okay, so before we got sidetracked, we were talking about AI not just as a tool for finding a job, but for actually shaping your whole career path.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, that's got me thinking. It's not every day you get to think about the future like that.
Right. Kind of flips things around, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Instead of looking at what jobs are out there, you use AI to figure out what you really love,
Yeah.
and then it helps you get there, like a career GPS, but personalized.
I love that analogy, but how does that even work? Can AI really get something as complex as someone's passions, their career dreams?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And like with most things AI, it's complicated. I mean, we're not at the point where AI can read your mind and just tell you your dream job. But what it can do is look at your skills, what you're interested in, your experiences, and compare all that to tons of career paths and what's happening in different industries.
So it's not just about the jobs you've had before, it's looking at the things you're good at, what you enjoy, and seeing how those could fit into a different field altogether.
You got it. Think about everything you do, at work, outside of work, all those skills you use. You might be surprised what you could do with those skills in a career you've never even thought about.
Okay, now that's pretty cool. It's like AI is connecting the dots for you between what you love and what's out there in the job market.
Exactly. And think about the possibilities for always learning new things. AI can suggest courses you could take, workshops, even mentors, things that help you gain new skills so you stay ahead of the game as the job market changes.
That is a game changer. It's like having a personal career coach that's always evolving with you. So instead of feeling stuck, you've got AI guiding you toward a career you actually enjoy, a career with a future.
That's the goal. It's about taking charge of your own career, not letting it happen to you. AI isn't something to be afraid of. It's a tool to help you reach your goals.
This has been amazing. So as we wrap up our deep dive into RoleCatcher and this whole world of AI and job searching, what's your final takeaway? What should our listeners really remember from all of this?
The biggest thing to remember is this. AI has the potential to completely change how we think about our careers, but we have to use it wisely and with our eyes open. Don't be afraid to see what it can do, but don't just believe everything you hear either. Ask questions, do your research, and remember, AI is a tool. It's up to you to use it the right way.
I love that. It's about finding that sweet spot, using technology to your advantage while still following your own path.
Exactly. Who knows, maybe AI will help you discover the perfect career one you never even knew existed.
Now that's something to think about. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.